Hello everyone, my name is Natalia Riumina, and today I will show you my next experiment. I fell in love with these shapes. Look, some pieces of ice, and today with ink, I will show you how to create a light, airy, smoky effect. For this, we will need a silicone mold. If you don't have a mold, you can purchase silicone sealant at a hardware store 8 or 6 hours in advance. Check the instructions for the time to harden. For the sealant, create a base on dense polyethylene or on plexiglass. I have a tutorial on my YouTube channel on how to create a mold yourself. If you have IGAM silicone paste, you can make IGAM with silicone paste. You also need alcohol ink. I took white ones from the Piñata company, blue and black. We also need some kind of stones for the core. Thick resin from Resin Pro Deluxe. It's super thick, don't worry. Don't be alarmed about the many bubbles. They come out over time. When we do the technique, we also need some kind of dry glitter powder. I also have it from the Resin Pro company. Or for a more intense effect, you can create white powder using pigment, but that won't result in the same kind of airy effect. You'll need to do it with ink. So I mixed a thick resin deluxe. I have a promotional code for a discount on the Therium. When ordering, use 10%. If they offer discounts, this promotional code is cumulative. You will have a 10% discount. Mix well. Carefully watch our surface level. Protect the surface. Protect ourselves' hands, respiratory tract. If you have a reaction, remember that masks are not suitable. Respiratory masks do not protect from toxic secretions, and the most harmful fumes happen during work. But when the resin hardens, it's just a piece of plastic. Neither you nor your client will be harmed. It only affects the person working with it. So make sure to protect yourself. Check the temperature. Check the humidity in the room. Resin doesn't like cold, and high humidity can cause issues. If there's high humidity, the resin will get an amine film and you won't achieve the effect. But that's not all. This applies to any effect. So having mixed the resin, we will also need a torch to remove the bubbles. I have a small bar one. I pour my transparent resin into half of the mold. Look, only half. Next, I pour 10 grams into a separate container for white coloring. With white ink, shake the ink well. For 10 grams, we need 15 drops. Count it out, mix it well. Here you can add a bit of pearl powder, a bit of loose pigment if you need to enhance the effect. I'll add just a bit. Look at the tip of the knife. Now I'll show you just a bit of white powdered pigment. You can make it with white dye, which is used to paint epoxy resin. But let me repeat, with white dye, this same technique would yield different results. You can find a tutorial on my YouTube channel and see how different the result can be. Once mixed, I set it aside, remove the bubbles, and now I take black alcohol ink from the Piñata brand. I ordered it along with the Rain Pro company's products, and I apply it closer to the edge. You understand? Any color. You can create any color you prefer. Now I take the blue ink, having given it a good shake too. Shake it and infuse it with blue ink. I infuse a bit more with blue ink, right into the center, because I want the blue to actively take up space. I'll go over the black a bit more. Now everyone, let's take our mixture of ink and make a nose. Thinly and with a thin stream, we draw a snail. Just like this, one after the other, we draw the snail in several layers. Now we pour the remaining transparent resin into the center. That's how it was poured. Swiftly, we decorate the middle because everything quick states very quickly. There it's done. We let it polymerize. We don't remove the bubbles because it could accidentally be set on fire with a torch. So folks, it's time to demold. Then I immediately mix the medium resin to achieve exactly the same filling using precisely the same technique. Create a medium resin on liquid. The subsequent options will let you see 3 choices at once. So we listen to the crunch. Oh, how I adore it. Look, this is why I say it's remarkably similar to clouds, although it looks like a piece of ice. Yes, watch how it's really something. If I wanted to say otherwise use ink, then go for it. But since we have ink, we make medium resin. Oh, it's so beautiful. See, soon I'll finish it and it's going to be charming. Now, it's similar to the process with thick resin. We make it the same way. I mix the medium Art Pro resin from Resin Pro. There's a discount on Terium, remember that? I pour half of the mold with transparent resin, allocate 10 grams for white ink, leave the rest for distributing. I'm adding white ink. "15 drops. And here is a drop of white dry pigment. Literally, see this much. I want even more. I didn't add it to the other one. I want to add this one. Winter Glow, also from Resin Pro, you literally saw. Mix a little bit, mix it well. Take the ink, shake it up, remove the bubbles, removed it, and first dig in the black ones. One by one, yes. Just like that. And now the blues. I slightly add the blues to the blacks. I proceed right up to. In the end, I pen my white mix and spill it like a snail. We take the ink, shake it up, remove the bubbles, and first add the black ones one by one. Yes, and now the blue ones. I add a little blue to the black ones, keep doing it till the end. Take my white mixture and pour it in a spiral. So now I pour the rest of the transparent resin inside to the end and immediately shape the middle. You see how quickly it all comes together. Yeah, that's it. I'll leave it to set. So remember our ice in the thick resin. Yes, like a patriarch. Now medium. Look at how it wraps up. It's great. It's simple. I'm satisfied. Like an elephant with this effect. I hope you like it too. Experiment, show off, demonstrate, tag, write. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to explain everything. Show you, tell you. So the third lesson on transparent liquid resin from RainPro. My name is Natalia Rayumina, and here is a ton of useful stuff. I don't want to sound like a marketing advertisement on Instagram, but it is what it is. Let me say again that I'm going to show you something useful, the process of creating this effect. So I mixed the liquid transparent resin from RainPro, prepared stones for the middle, also got some alcohol ink from the Piñata company. Here they are in such a beautiful cup, also dry white pigment. I will only color with ink and pigment. Now I'll explain everything, show you, carefully mix the resin, follow the instructions closely, read carefully on how much you need to mix, protect yourself, protect your breathing path, your work surface, check the humidity. The resin should be at room temperature. If you just brought it from outside, especially in the cold season, it can't tolerate the cold and shrinks like paraffin. So place it carefully under hot water or near a heater. So I mixed 60 grams for mine. We carefully clean it with tape without scratching it. Even light movements on the mold may scratch it, and unsightly scratches will be imprinted on your product. Remember this. So I pour 30 grams into the mold. Let's come over here. I'm setting aside a cup for coloring with white pigment and non-white pigment. Excuse me, I misspoke earlier. Otherwise, it will be colored with white pigment, white with white ink, 10 drops for every 10 grams. Here are 10 drops. Now I'm adding dry white pigment. You might ask, why not use liquid? Because if you make it liquid, unfortunately, it will sink heavily. With this technique, you need to make the effect as light as possible. Like this, on the tip of the knife with dry, non-liquid white pigment. And mix well. Immediately prepare everything you need for the center, because the resin will seal very quickly. So I take black ink, shake the bottle well. Just make sure it's closed so that the ink or pigment doesn't settle. I drip the ink along the edge. You can choose any color you like. I've chosen the same for 3 pours. I didn't change the color because I want you to understand how resin behaves with the same thing. Ink with identical pigment but different consistency and viscosity. First, it was thick, then medium, and the third was liquid. Generally, you'll see how resins behave with this effect. I drip until the very center, and now I take our white resin. I bend the cup like this. It's called a duck's nose, and in a thin stream I draw a spiral, like so. We draw a spiral, and now I pour the remaining resin directly into the center and quickly seal the resin. I shape the middle. That's it. We don't remove the bubbles as it's alcohol-based. The resin might burn, so let it polymerize. Look at these curls. Guys, it's not in vain that I do all these lessons, almost all pours, using different resins with the same color, with the same effect, the same coloring technique to show you the difference. It's the same effect, but this one was made medium, and this one with liquid, one with thick. Here's one lesson, 3 options, and you choose for yourself which one you like best. The pieces, which types, which are really cool, which are really